Yeah, I'm waiting for the ME's report. I'll get back to you.
Okay, sweetie pie, this is the last cart.
It's also the last straw. Honey, why couldn't you leave the damn things at home?
Because the last time I went to my mother's, when I came back, they were half dead.
It's not my fault. Things got busy. I was hardly ever at home.
Exactly my point. You see, here you can't ignore them. They'll be staring you straight in the face. Besides, look at the bright side, Harry. All the oxygen my little green babies are going to produce. It smells better in here already.
The only thing I can smell in here is fertilizer.
Hello.
Hi, sweetie.
How are you?
Hi, Franny.
Hi, honey.
Harry, what's next? Waterfalls, couple of parrots?
Maybe you should get a little pond with some of those Japanese fish.
You gonna do stand-up or give me a report on the dead woman?
Her name is Madeline Kidd. She's a private investigator from Miami.
Working or on vacation?
Well, we're not sure. She rented a dive boat, some scuba equipment from a local dive shop. And she said she'd be gone for a couple of hours. And she didn't come back. Dive shop owner calls 911.
Coast Guard found her body under the boat in 30 feet of water. Her lungs were full of seawater.
The cause of death was internal bleeding from a ruptured artery at the base of the skull.
Somebody applied fatal pressure to the victim's neck.
It looks that way. Harry, would you be interested in going with me to Miami to check out her office?
Well, she's not going.
Dentist.
Again?
I know, that's what I said.
Come on, it'll be fun. Hey, afterwards, we can go plant shopping. Maybe get you a fern.
Or some night blooming jasmine.
You know, neither one of you happen to be funny. But there is a great Cuban restaurant right off Lincoln. I would
Oh, either she was a real slob.
Oh, somebody got here before us. Now, why is it that crooks feel they gotta ransack a place? Is it really that much quicker than staging a knife and meat search?
Oh, come on, Harry. You ever had the urge to trash something?
Yeah, I have. You ever hear of Sam Bonnet?
Sam Bonnet, he was a head of homicide when you came down here, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's the guy. He had it in for me from the minute I showed up. Every crap case, he made sure I got it. And then when I'd solve them, he would take all the credit. I used to go home and tear up my apartment. Knock over bookcases, break glasses against the walls.
Made you feel better, right?
Not a bit.
Well, it doesn't always work.
Then one night, I was working late. I realized that everybody else had gone home. I was the only one there. I went over to Sam's office and I tried the door, and because there is a God in heaven, it opened.
And you went crazy.
No. I just snuck into his office and totally rearranged his files. Took him 6 months to get him back in shape. Meantime, his boss was on his case for lack of organization.
Proved to be cathartic.
Like you can't imagine. Listen, we're wasting our time here. There's nothing here.
Yeah, no address book, no file of facts.
No case files that point to anything here in Palm Beach.
Why don't we find out who she called regularly in Palm Beach?
Hey, why don't we find that out?
Exactly why did you hire a private detective, Mr. Drake?
Why? Because I'm getting ripped off, that's why. And it's something I'm not used to. I'm usually the ripper, not the rippee, if you get my drift.
Had you filed a police report?
Please.
Isn't that the usual procedure with a theft?
Yeah, that would be nice. You see, look, I make a living in real estate, you know? I buy, I sell, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. I know how to make money. That's just my job. See what my passion is, what my love is? Deep-sea treasure hunting.
Like sunken ships.
No, like guys who drown with their money belts on. Of course, sunken ships.
How do you find them?
How do I find them? I research the hell out of them. That's how I find them. And I do it myself. You know, libraries, archives. I spend more time in the stacks than the average PhD candidate. You ever been to the stacks?
Not really.
A lot of weird people in there. You know, I even learned Spanish so I could read the logs myself.
Listen, can we get back to Madeline Kidd?
Yeah. So, I'm excavating a Spanish galleon that sunk off the coast of Palm Beach in the 1580s.
Santa Marta.
So, I salvaged about 60% of the wreck, right? Some of the stuff is good. But for the most part, the inventory matches the manifest cargo log like crap. You know, I mean, I guesstimated there's 40, 50 million down there. So far, the guy's only brought me up 2 mil.
So what's missing?
What's missing? Really expensive stuff. An emerald crucifix, a gold filigree brooch, a truckload of Aztec goodies. Like I said, I'm getting ripped off. And I hired Madeline to find out who.
Well, whoever it is found her first.
Excuse me, are you Ann Bishop?
Depends.
I'm Sergeant St. John, Palm Beach Police.
You don't look like a cop.
Well, you don't look like a dive shop owner.
Best in Palm Beach.
I'm sure.
Hey, I got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I got all my stuff back from your evidence guys except my Icona scuba knife. Serrated blade, about 1 foot long. It's not cheap.
I'll have the station check it out.
I'd appreciate it. So I thought you homicide detectives worked in teams.
We do? My partner's on his way back from Miami now.
So what's he like?
Brian? He's okay. Well, actually, he's more than okay.
Is he single?
I beg your pardon?
Hey, most of the male customers I get around here double for Moby Dick. Any chance I get to meet a good-looking guy, I grab it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll have him come over and ask you some questions.
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, what do you know about Madeline Kidd?
Nothing more than what I got off her driver's license when she rented the gear.
So you knew she was alone when you rented to her?
I always try to buddy people up, but she was adamant about going solo. She had her C card, she knew the risk.
Did she ever mention the Santa Marta?
She didn't mention much about anything, but divers are like that. It's one of the reasons they love the sport. Divine silence. So, you dive?
I took a weekend course in Cayman last year, but I just don't have much of a chance to dive around here.
What about your partner?
Well, Sergeant Ryan and the ocean aren't the best of friends. He was caught in a riptide when he was 5.
Too bad. Diving is like total freedom. You know, no rules, no regulations. You can do anything you want down there. You know what the best way to dive is?
What's that?
Totally nude. Not a stitch. The water on your skin is just like an all-body massage. It's a shame he won't reconsider.
Well, I tell you what, you broach it to him like that, and
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
yeah.
Oh, here it is. My copy of the sales slip. Madeline Kidd rented an outboard in full gear. She was on her 3rd full day when she disappeared.
So she didn't tell you what she was diving for or where she was diving, huh?
No. But she did have a marine camera with the strobe flash.
Oh, there wasn't a camera on the evidence sheet either.
It's probably still down there with my knife.
Well, police divers can do another search tomorrow.
Well, why wait? You said you never get a chance to dive. This way you can do it on the clock.
Sounds pretty good. Let me let my partner know where I am, and maybe he can stop by.
Okay.
Ryan? Hey, St. John. I'm at the dive shop.
Great, so I'll just head straight to the station.
No, I think you should come over here.
What, there's a problem?
It's more like an opportunity. The shop owner's taking me diving.
What? What, like a date?
Well, the owner is a woman. Most definitely a woman.
I see. So why should I come out there?
Well, just so you can ride shotgun while we go diving.
Hey, no. No, you know how I am about the water.
Well, okay, you can stay on the shore and you can watch the dive boat.
Cass.
Just trust me, okay? You'll be glad I asked. Bye.
Ready? Let's go.
6,000 gold doubloons. We got 6,000 silver pieces of 8. What does that make? One of the richest wrecks in Florida history. But Drake still isn't happy. He thinks there should be more.
So you're aware of his suspicions?
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm in charge of this lash up. I mean, who else do you think he's gonna bitch to? He's been moaning for months that the treasure inventory doesn't match with the ship's logbook.
Well, how do you account for the missing items?
Well, you'd have to be awful naive to think that we were the first people to have a crack at this wreck. I mean, she could have been stripped any time since the invention of scuba. I mean, hell, the original crew could have plundered her as she was going down.
So you think Drake's being paranoid?
Look, I mean, most of these investors, the second that they hear something's down there, they think it's gonna be the richest of the Western world.
You've had this problem before.
Comes with the territory. Drake isn't the first, certainly won't be the last.
Do you have any idea that Drake hired a private detective?
Yeah, he'd mentioned that. I told him to go ahead. I didn't have anything to hide. Are you saying the detective turned up something?
She turned up dead.
You think I had something to do with that?
Just asking questions, Mr. Drummond.
Fine. Ask around. Nobody's gonna say anything but good about me and my crew. These boys are like family here. Never had a problem. Not one missing gold doubloon.
We'll need a crew roster.
I'll fax it over this afternoon. But while you're asking questions, I'd appreciate a little discretion. Rumors get started easy here. Almost as easy as lawsuits.
We'll be models of diplomacy.
Good. Glad we understand one another. Both have a nice day now.
Loved treasure hunts when I was a kid.
What, birthday parties?
No, real treasure hunting.
In Del Rio, Texas, the only time you guys ever saw water was during a flash flood.
Treasures can be buried anywhere. I must have dug up half that town looking for gold and buried jewels. And not only that, I had a proper and fitting pirate name.
St. John the Savage.
No, Cassandra. Like Long John Silver's ship in Treasure Island.
Right, you played with Pirate Barbie.
There were female pirates, you know, Mary Reed. She cut off all of her hair and she dressed like a boy just so she could stow away on a pirate ship.
That's what she told her parents. So what makes you such an expert on buccaneers?
I must have read Treasure Island a dozen times. I read Peter Pan too, but I never wanted to be Peter or Wendy. I always wanted to be Long John Silver or Captain Hook, because they were much cooler.
Well, personally, I think being a pirate's about as cool as getting a root canal.
Well, romance was never your strong part.
Romance? Well, these guys were hijackers. Just as soon cut your throat as give you the time of day. If you really ticked them off, they'd make you eat your own lips and ears.
You always look at the negative side.
Not to mention their sense of personal hygiene. I mean, you could usually smell them before you saw them. They thought they could cover everything in whale oil.
You know, I always thought whale oil smelled kind of sexy.
Well, it depends where you slap it on.
So basically, you document everything raised off the wreck.
You got it. All those years spent working for a PhD ending up making me a doctor of appraisal. It's not so bad. Pays a lot better than digging up skulls in Borneo.
Dr. Roberts, do you think it's possible that somebody could have stolen part of the treasure?
It's possible, but probably not. Most of the items in question, the emerald crucifix, the Aztec icons, they're really just too large for anyone to take off a salvaged ship without either me or Drummond knowing. No, oh, please don't touch that. Please. There are only 11 of those in existence. Let's not make it 10.
Sorry.
What about if someone hid it underwater and then went back to retrieve it later?
Well, that's possible, too, but the divers always go down in tandem for safety reasons.
So at least two would have to be party to any scam operation.
Well, true, but you rarely have the same two dive buddies.
You're saying the whole ship was involved?
But let's say somebody did manage to steal something.
It would be really hard for them to sell. The authenticity has to be documented, otherwise, the artifacts aren't worth nearly as much.
But there are private collectors.
In order to tap into that market, it's a whole other ball game. I mean, you have to cultivate contacts and build trust. Marketing stolen artwork is a lot harder than people think.
Huh?
You know, Madeline Kidd was probably killed because somebody didn't want her snooping around that wreck.
Can you put a name to that someone?
Not yet. Crew's clean.
We ran a background check on the 52 employees of the salvage company.
And other than the occasional bar fight, DUI, nobody's got a record.
What about the missing camera?
Well, police divers searched a half-mile radius from where the body was found, and we're missing the knife.
What knife?
The shark knife that Madeline Kidd had rented with her scuba equipment.
She could have used it to fight off whoever tried to attack her. She maybe even nailed him with it.
Did you try the hospital's lifeguard station?
Goose eggs, Harry.
What about Doc Morgan?
Who?
Doc Morgan, come on. The guy's been hanging around the marina for years. He's got more gossip than the Enquirer.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, Annie. What brings you down to the cheap seats?
I've got some people who want to talk to you.
You're not from the state medical board, are you?
No, we're investigating a murder.
You got any truck with the state medical board?
You'll have to forgive Doc. He's got a little problem.
Yeah, with the state medical board.
Yeah, we've picked up on that.
I don't like people snooping around my business.
He's not a real doctor.
Yeah, but I'm damn good at stitching things, whether it be a mainsail or human skin.
You see any knife injuries around here lately?
What if I have?
Well, we would consider it a real favor if you told us.
How big a favor?
Right.
Young guy, a couple of days ago. Bad wounds on his shoulder and chest. I stitched him up.
So you have any idea what caused the cuts?
Kid told me it was coral burn. Got too close to the reef, but he's a lousy liar. They were knife wounds.
$40 buys the name?
No, I'm not into naming names. Not for $40, not for $4,000.
Well, there's no need to name names. We've got a salvage crew roster right here. Now, if the spirit moves you, just grunt.
So we get a grunt for 40?
Could be.
Thank you. Howell Davis.
Check this out. This guy's got more wetsuits than you got sports coats.
Yeah, well, I bet he looks stupid when he goes out dancing. Ooh. This is better than bobbing for apples.
Let's see. Wait a minute. There's a gold filigree brooch on Drake's list of items that were never recovered.
Wow. You think one of Drummond's crew had sticky fingers?
Couldn't be. I mean, after all, these guys are all like family.
Yeah, well, I think Hal's about to be disowned.
How you feeling?
Lousy. Well, I'm not gonna help that much. Cops are looking for you.
Since when?
Since about an hour ago. They stopped by, asked me for your address.
You didn't have to give it to him.
That'd be real smart, wouldn't it?
I had stuff soaking there.
I figured.
Then why in the hell would you tell him where I lived?
Have you heard the term fall guy? I can't tell you how many times I told that kid to cut back on his drinking.
And you just happened to find him?
Breaking like a fraternity house on Sunday morning. I called the paramedics. I thought he was just passed out. I went down there. He wasn't breathing. He was a good kid.
I know, like family.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, it's just kind of coincidental that you find him so soon after he fell.
Is that an accusation?
Just an observation. Free to go, Mr. Drummond. Someone will contact you later with follow-up questions.
Fine. Anything I can do to help. Yes, I understand. Look, Hal is dead. Does that satisfy you?
Well, old Hal's death sure ties up a few loose ends.
Yeah, I need is a Christmas ribbon. Robert said there'd be at least 2 of them working together.
You think he and Drummond run the buddy system?
Well, there's no honor among thieves. Probably even less among pirates.
Oh, don't tell me now. You and your romantic visions.
I'm reassessing.
When did you start listening to classical music?
Franny told me that music is fertilizer to a plant's soul.
Well, did she tell you that different plants like different music?
I mean, these are tropical plants. I don't know if they're into Mozart.
What do you think I should be playing?
Oh, Jimmy Buffett.
Bob Marley.
How about Beethoven's Funeral March? Tell me about Howell Davis.
We found his vehicle in the marina parking lot, a red pickup truck.
Just like the one driven by whoever shot at Ann and me.
But there's no weapon, so there's no way to know for sure.
Any way to connect him with Madeline Kidd's death?
Not directly. Lots of circumstantial evidence, like the equipment we found in his bedroom.
Along with the fact that he needed medical treatment for knife wounds after Kidd went missing.
And that he had in his possession a brooch that Kidd was hired to find.
Aha. And the other missing stuff?
Didn't turn up anything.
But if Roberts is right, and he does have a partner, that's where the rest of the stuff is.
You got any ideas on how to find this theoretical partner? Good. Why don't you two go to work on that and leave me in peace with my little floral friends? Would you mind catching that? Thank you.
Where's the artifact now?
In the police evidence room.
Well, it can't stay there. Air can damage that kind of specimen. If it isn't stored in seawater, the metal deteriorates.
Really?
How do you explain this?
This is muriatic acid electrolysis clips. It's everything you need to clean salvaged items.
We found 4 boxes of this stuff in Hal Davis's apartment.
That's enough to clean an entire shipload of artifacts.
So that means there's probably more treasure somewhere.
Hal Davis wasn't smart enough to organize something on that large a scale.
You said yesterday that we had to assume that Hal had a partner.
I did.
Doctor, assuming that these guys know that this stuff is sensitive to the air, where would be the best place to stash it?
Probably someplace on the bottom of the sea.
This is a nautical chart of the Palm Beach coast. The Santa Marta wreck is here, and this is where the Coast Guard found Madeline Kidd's body.
Any obvious place to hide stolen treasure?
Not around the wreck. There's too much chance another member of the salvage team will find it. Well, there's a reef about halfway between the wreck and where the body was found. Lots of nooks and crannies.
So we can make a search of that area?
Sure you can, but remember, it took 400 years to find the Santa Marta. And that's a hell of a lot bigger than what you'll be looking for.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
By the way,
Yeah?
where is your partner?
I was taking care of some paperwork.
You wouldn't be keeping him away from here, would you?
I'd do something like that. Oh. Oh, you think we have a thing?
Are you?
No, not a chance.
How come?
Well, we used to be married.
Oh.
Yeah.
me filled in on how you're doing.
I got my cell phone.
It's all right. I want a field report.
What are you talking about?
I had to get out of the office, okay? The plants were making me nuts.
Okay.
I think I OD'd on oxygen. All right, so I'm here, so fill me in. So where are you?
Nowhere. There's no way to find where they hid the stolen stuff. It's too large an area to cover. And why couldn't they be like Long John Silver and hide the loot on land?
With a big fat X marks the spot, huh?
Yeah.
The professor said they dive in teams, right?
Yeah.
So then how come the partner killed Howell?
Well, that's easy. Keep all the stuff for himself.
Oh, but you told me that Drake said they only recovered about 60% of the loot. Why not wait till they bring it all up and then dump Howell?
You know what?
Huh?
You need to get out of the office more often. So let's go discuss this with Tom.
Why don't you go and discuss it with Tom?
You're not coming back to the office?
Nope. I'm gonna stay out here and breathe diesel fuel. Listen, when you get back to the office,
I know. You want me to check on your little floral friends.
I would be forever in your debt.
Yes, you are. Why don't you just relax?
How can I relax?
Everything is under control.
Two people are dead. You call that under control?
Howie's the one who got sloppy. We're just cleaning up his mess, remember?
Yeah, but we didn't have to kill him.
Yes, we did. Oh, come on, Eddie. The police will say it's an accident.
Yeah, just like they did with Madeline Kidd.
With Howell gone, there's no way to trace us to Kid.
You hope.
I know.
Well, I don't.
What? You don't know whether I'm right or whether you want to go through with it? Fine, Eddie. Fine. I get everything. Is that what you want?
You'll never get the stuff without me.
But suddenly you're the only diver on the planet? Is that it? Eddie. Come on. Come on. What's it gonna be?
Count me in.
Who's he got in there with him?
I don't know. It doesn't look like anybody.
No, he's talking to someone.
Yeah, probably himself.
Out loud?
Yeah, you do it all the time.
No way.
Shopping list, cases you're working on.
No, I write those things down.
Yeah, first you talk to yourself.
Delusional. You are becoming delusional.
Yeah, right. I'm imagining all this. Do you want a coffee?
Yeah, thanks. People don't talk to themselves.
I heard that.
It's a joke.
Right.
It was a joke. People don't talk to themselves.
Look at this. I spritz, I snip. I become a hairdresser to a bunch of plants. I'd like to tell Franny it's either you guys or me. But I'll be honest, I don't know which way she would choose.
What is with the sauna, Skipper?
Oh, Franny wants me to keep the plants nice and snug.
This isn't snug. This is Hades.
All right, it's enough with the plants. Tell me something about the treasure.
We haven't got anything.
Nothing. This is not a word I wanted to hear.
Well, we've had divers all over the reef.
And they found...
Nada. Not even a gold doubloon.
What about the partner?
We got the dive logs from Drummond. Straight rotation. On any given week, Hal Davis worked with 11 other divers.
Well, 12 if you include Drummond.
So one of them has to be the partner.
Yeah, but which one? I mean, all the guy has to do is lie low until the heat's up.
Yeah, let the loot sit for a couple of weeks, maybe even a year.
Unless we give him a compelling reason to retrieve it immediately.
Oh, such as...
Madeline Kidd's camera.
Oh, well, we told you. We never found the camera.
Who says you have to?
Well, Sergeant, any closer to finding the killer?
Getting closer all the time.
Nice camera.
Uh-huh. Belonged to Madeline Kidd. We found it this morning.
We're getting the film process right now. We should have a good idea where the loot is.
How does that help you find the killer?
Fingerprints.
In salt water?
Well, metal corrodes, but any smooth surface, glass, ceramic, we stand a good chance to get the prints.
Police divers are going back down tomorrow. We thought you might want to have your crew on standby.
Why's that?
Just in case we find anything. Figure you want to salvage it immediately.
Fine. We'll be ready.
Finding the camera's a long way from finding the treasure, Eddie.
Look, they have already pinpointed a location.
That's impossible.
What if she photographed one of the markers? It'll lead them right to the hiding place.
Well, then we let them find it. There's no way they can trace it to us.
Oh, yeah, and I end up with 5 years down the drain and a possible murder rap.
There's always another wreck, Eddie.
Not like this one.
You just said it. It isn't worth the risk. Look, I know it's hard to walk away from it all, but that's just the point. If we stay calm, we will walk away, all right? And I promise you, I will find some way to make it up to you. Okay? How does that feel?
Good.
And how does that feel?
Better.
That's what I thought.
You should be arrested for plant abuse.
It's not my fault, honey.
This one is drowning.
But you said copious water.
I didn't mean the Johnstown flood. And look at this one. It hasn't been watered enough. Oh, the poor baby. Ah! Ah!
What?
Where did this come from?
The air vent?
Oh, that's it, Harry. That's it. That's it. No more plant management for you. It's over.
Yeah, Lipschitz. Yes, I'll be right there. It's police business, honey. I gotta go.
Oh.
See you later.
You're the Ted Bundy of the plant world.
Me, Eddie.
Birdie?
You know what hurts me? When I can't hold your attention during sex.
What are you talking about?
Come on, Eddie. The whole time we were in bed, I could practically hear you planning this.
Look, I'm just gonna take my half. You can do whatever you want with yours.
No, Ed, it's all going back. First in the boat, then back in the ocean.
What if I say no?
And I'll just have to do it myself.
Freeze!
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Catching pirates is more fun on dry land. Let's go.
Hey, you guys.
Hey.
Hey.
What brings you here?
Tom wanted me to drop something off.
Oh, yeah.
Now, like I said, your best bet, practice with it at home. Get used to the field before our first class.
Great. At home, okay.
Okay? I'll see you Saturday.
Yep, you will.
Bye.
Bye. What class? What are you up to, Snorkel Boy?
Just thought it was about time I overcame my phobia.
And since when are you afraid of brunettes?
Brunettes. Going under the water.
Are you gonna do it nude so you can experience the all-body massage?
Yeah, I think I'll do it nude.
Well, just remember one thing.
What's that?
Cold water makes things shrink. You know,